and young people you care about might uh, get engaged in using substances and probably subsequently get into a situation where it becomes an abuse and an addiction. Okay, so today, the challenges of use using using of substances, psychotropic substances. That means substances that alter moods, actions, and perceptions. Um, it's on the increase, on the rise. It's global. Does not care about your family background, your studies, who you are. Every facet of every society has a challenge um, in this area. Drug use, hard drug use, as some would say. Well, like we explained in the last episode, we prefer to say substances because there are some that ordinary, if you say hard drugs, so well, I don't take hard drugs, I only take cigarettes, I only drink alcohol. Well, they're part of the gang. And we dwelt on those two specifically last episode as uh, cigarettes and alcohol, specifically last week. But today we are zeroing on the reasons your children might want to be interested at all. We're starting with reason number one, which is external pressure. Okay. In that bouquet of external pressure, there is one, it's not the main because again, uh, that particular group now is subdivided into some other groups. And we're talking about peer pressure. Peers now can pressure their peers online, class, in the street, in the neighborhood, everywhere. So peer pressure is not only can be can't only be known or found in particular environment. Before you stay indoors, so nobody offers you anything. Now your children can be in their bedrooms with that little gadget, this that you bought for them in their bedrooms, and then they could be anywhere in the world. So we want to talk about external pressures today. And to help us get into that discussion, I found a very interesting clip from uh, that's a TV serial, is from the Boston Legal uh, serial from one of the major networks, and I found a very interesting strip, courtroom drama. Really, well, Boston Legal is about courtroom dramas of various, social issues. Um, and then this particular one, I want you to, since season 6, we haven't been taking materials from elsewhere to show you here, but this particular one, I felt strongly about having to. We still have our own videos we produce for this particular episode, but we want to see this one, and then we'll return and we'll continue with the program. Okay, let's see the clip.
Everybody in this room knows somebody who has fought the same battle and died this agonizing, brutal, excruciating. But emotion has no play here. Michael Rhodes was 11 years old when he started smoking. It was 1948. At that time, there was no known risk. And even if there were, at 11, he certainly lacked the capacity to assume it. And after that, he was addicted. They manufacture them to be addictive. In just the last few years, they've increased the amount of nicotine in the average cigarette by 11.6% to make them even more addictive. Recently, we learned that tobacco companies have been adding an ammonia-based compound to cigarettes for years to increase absorption of nicotine. It's basically the same principle used in crack cocaine. And let's look at the obscene strategy they've employed here. Smoking may cause cancer, but it didn't cause this particular cancer. It wasn't our cigarettes, or it was genetic, or asbestos, or a paper mill. Never did they take responsibility, ever. And God forbid, if you sue them, they'll bury you and your lawyer. They might even depose your doctor to death for good measure. All their insidious methods and cunning corporate tactics aren't just history. It's what they continue to do now, today. Because the tobacco industry is like a nest of cockroaches. They will always find a way to survive.
Objection.
They still go after kids with one strategy after another. They put up brightly colored ads at kids' eye level in convenience stores. They hire gorgeous 20-somethings to frequent popular venues and seduce young adults into attending lavish corporate-sponsored parties. Cockroaches will always find a way. They can't advertise on TV, but they've hired PR agencies to hook them up with the film industry, and it's worked. Researchers estimate that smoking in movies delivers nearly 400,000 new adolescent smokers every year. Every time you try to kill the cockroach, it finds another way. It has to, because when you make a product that kills off your consumers, you have to find a way to recruit new customers. They've now got a new feminized version of the macho Camel brand, using slogans like light and luscious, with hot pink packaging. Virginia Slims advertised their thin cigarette. Allure magazine did a whole spread on the cigarette diet. They use social and psychological profiling, targeting potential smokers by gender, ethnicity, sexual preference, socioeconomic groups. Cockroaches don't discriminate. Their CEO comes into this courtroom gloating over their anti-smoking campaign, which is designed to get kids to smoke. In 2005, they spent more than $15 billion on advertising and promotion. That's a 225% increase from 1998 to discourage smoking. This is not how corporations with a conscience behave. How in God's name are cigarettes even legal? Can anybody tell me that? They are a deadly concoction of carcinogens that damage every single organ in your body. Why do we not ban them? Because it's a free. Because freedom of choice is an American ideal worth somebody dying every 6 seconds? How can any company, especially one with such a conscience no less, knowingly manufacture a product that poisons its users and make that product look cool and hip and sexy and fun so they can get children? How can any attorney defend a company that would do such a thing? And how can any society tolerate it? But we do. There is no conscience at Big Tobacco. There is no conscience in Washington, which has been bought and paid for by this industry. Conscience has to come from you, the jury. If real regulation is to happen, it has to come from you. People are smoking day after day after day and dying and dying and dying, and the tobacco companies keep getting richer and richer. Last year alone, they made $12 billion in profits. How can that be? How can that be?
So it's done. Thank you so much, the tech people, for playing back that cartoon, if you like, that beat from that cartoon drama. Um, it's dramatized. Okay, let's agree on that. Yes, but then is drama always a joke? No. We use profile to examine, if you like, to dissect serious issues. And as it's shown, as is stated by that, attorney in that courtroom, and if you look at the expression of the judge, even if you like, the defense attorney, and then the jury, you look at their faces. At some point, as the attorney was making his case, at a point you could tell they had given up. That the person speaking had made his point, and that his point sank home to everybody. Why was it just not possible for government just to ban tobacco? Oh, governments need money. Tobacco companies pay taxes. Tobacco companies employ people. The people they employ earn money. They earn money, they pay taxes. Government uses taxes. Then politicians need money for campaign. They need money to win elections. They need money, to keep in office. Tobacco companies, big tobacco companies, bring sponsorship, bring money, lobby money. So it's a complicated issue. And like the attorney said, why would a company continue to produce something it knows kills off its consumers or its clients? That's where the issue of external pressure comes in. He answered the question there. And he said, because they kill them off, they have to find more creative ways to recruit new users. That's where the issue of children and young people come in. Advertising. Advertising agencies getting. Movie production companies getting. Script writers, screenplay writers getting. And media materials are produced which glamorize the use of cigarettes, alcohol. And sometimes, as cartoon, hi guys on TikTok, thank you for being here. Thank you. Welcome, 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 okay? Welcome. Welcome, guys. Join me, please. Look at my flash goal. 3 roses, please. Send me 3 roses, and thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys, on TikTok. So now you see that the challenge here is big pharma. They have money to fight, and even like the attorney said, they have money to take care of the lawyer, take care of everybody, including a picture of hopelessness and helplessness. That's why we are back to you, parents. That's why we're back here. It's in your doorsteps. It's in your living rooms. It's in your homes. It's in your hands to now sustain that communication relationship that keep you talking with your children, presenting them with the facts, presenting them with the tools to resist, to be themselves in the midst of their friends, to refuse, to resist, and still be able to use online platforms without being distracted, without being tempted to go in programs that would have brought adverts that mask this products to make. I don't know if they'll be able to. Unfortunately, again, guys, you won't be able to see it on TikTok. It's only the YouTube guys that will see it, And TikTok guys, remember, I have a goal, a goal, 3 roses. Please just send me 3 roses, then flash goal. Okay, 3 roses, that would have, and that just keep the lights going. Thank you so much, guys, on TikTok. And You don't throw your hands up. As in most things, as in most development issue things, okay, what can we do? The government is not doing anything. You've got to do something. That thing you've got to do is equip your children with information and skills with which they make informed decisions on their own when you are not there, whether online or in person with their friends. Children like to be with their mates. They like to be with their friends. Young people like to be with their mates. They like to be with their friends. At least at the times you allow them, more time they have to be outside of the house. They go to school, they go to church, they go to the playground. Yes. Those times, there are other children who other people would have also have primed, also have, offer them things innocently, ignorantly. They pick up, oh, it's nice, tastes nice, it make you feel good, right? They're playing basketball, you feel tired. Just take this, you see the energy come. Really, you mean it? Because it's a friend offering. It's not thinking. But if you had if you had prepared your children early enough to say, well, you're going to play fine. Don't eat or drink anything you didn't take from home. And you don't leave it blank. You explain why. You tell that child, your children, the reason. You tell the young person, the young people around you, the reason. People might offer you things that look like they are candies, that look like nice pop soda drinks, and they are not. Okay? And you can start to use things that can mess you up. And you go all the line to explain that mess up. Mess your schooling up, you want to be a pilot, right? Well, if they give you things and you become dependent, you can't attend classes, you won't be able to concentrate, you can't pass your exams, you can't be a pilot. You want that to happen? No, I don't want that to happen. Good. So please don't drink or eat anything that you didn't take from home. But it's my friend. Well, there's an African proverb. It says that it is the rat that's inside the house that tells the rat outside the house that there's a fish in the cupboard. Meaning is people who are close to you, okay? Who are people who you trust, who you think you trust, or who you actually trust, that can do you harm if they have intentions for doing you harm. So you need to look after yourself. You need to let your children know that they need to look after themselves, even when they are with their friends. Not that you shouldn't play with your friends. You play, not just about play. No, can you use this? No, I'm okay. You feel tired? I'll be better. I'll be okay. Don't just ask them to just say no. You don't want to know. Discuss refusal, resistance, distancing skills or exit strategy skills. Oh, yeah, just hold it. I want to use the bathroom. Okay. Oh, wow. I need to check something in my bag. Wow. I didn't know the time I've got. What time is it? The person says, I'll be back. You're not lying. That's not lying. It's your exit strategy. That's a situation that might lead to some other things. And you excuse yourself. Oh, I need to check something. Okay, by not leaving that place. So you're not lying. Okay. So let your children know that, because the pull for being amongst friends, the embarrassment that could come from friends jarring, look at it, we thought you were a man, we thought you were a big boy, or your mommy's boy, your daddy's boy, you shouldn't be here with us. Go home to your mommy. Well, yeah, mommy's girl. No. Yep. Go home. Go, yes, a mommy's girl, mommy's boy. Yeah. I told a story in the particular book that we're using as resource material for this uh, season, this series, the Shore Foundation. I told a story there of one school party when I was doing my learning house will organize trip party. A DJ will come into the school. Everything will be well, not alcohol, not cigarettes, not drugs. Well, the time I went to school, no. Okay. But then it was about the dances. Okay. Now everybody is dancing disco jump, and then from the fast pace and it goes to a slow jam. And when that happens, people held their female classmates or friends and all of that, not necessarily girlfriend. You just want to dance with a female. And there's this classmate of mine, and she was the daughter of a serving federal minister at that time. And somebody, the person she was dancing with originally, the high tempo music, when the DJ suddenly changed the music to slow jam, just grabbed her to said, "No, leave me," at the top of her voice. "Leave me. My mommy said I should not dance blues." Blues, blues music. So my mommy said I should not dance. A sixth form class, it's A levels class, girl, then without feeling of embarrassment, without remembered what the mommy told, whether anybody laughed at her, then of course people laughed. And not only that, continue to make jest of her even after she didn't care. What's important to her that her prepared her. This was in a hall, everybody was there. Me, blouse. Yeah. Okay. But she remembered her conversation with her mother, remembered her relationship with her mother. And that was the reason for which she said, "No, I can, don't hold me. You can, but don't hold me." Okay. So you teach your children refusal resistant skills. That was a little bit, harsh, of the script, the shouting, the pushing a little bit. But to safeguard yourself, sometimes your children, you need to let them know, not fight, just find a way, move yourself away from the scene. And she did, and she went away from the dance floor, went to sit down. The party continued. People continued to converse about important things. She remembered what her mother told her, and she put it to use. Give your children information and skills and tools they can put to use at times when you are not there, for their own good, for your own peace of mind. That's what we're talking about here. Okay, so thank you guys for joining. Thank you, Oliver 665797. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Emma Gonzalez, for joining on TikTok. Thank you so much, guys. And then you're not leaving them dry should mistakes be made. Mistakes might be made. The child could get pulled unknowingly, and then you guess to use something that didn't noticed, whatever that you don't know with your child. And okay, I'm not feeling so well. You don't feel well. Maybe somehow the child, all of you end up, all of you end up at hospital. You had the doctor's clinic, and they were like, "Oh, well, what did you take?" Okay, well, your child must have, from what we found out, something that should have been his or her system is there. So maybe find out what did you? Well, I only took a candy at the party. Wow, you took a candy. That's a mistake. Not let that child know he could trust you with disclosing such. and say, well, remember our discussion, or if you hadn't had that discussion before, no, now it's okay, please. Oh, sorry, maybe my fault. I didn't tell you before. Please don't eat or drink anything. When you go out to be amongst your friends, don't eat or drink anything that you did not take from home yourself. Okay? If you had and that happened, don't just say, I told you this will happen. No, that's not it. Oh, well, maybe, well, this is like the practical experience from that discussion we had to see what could happen when you eat or drink what you did not take from home. So what should we do next time? Mommy, I won't. Fine. Daddy, I won't. Fine. That's it. But just know that we're here. Okay? Let your children and your young people around you know that they could always fall back on you. But not when it now becomes a habit. When it now becomes a habit, that's when it becomes an abuse. Okay? A mistaken use, an innocent, use of a substance that they didn't plan, they didn't go to the grocery or wherever to go buy it. Somebody offered, which is what happened in most cases. The first introduction, so when somebody say, try it. Okay? Sometimes an unprepared child would take, especially a child that has the problem with acceptance at home. One more reason why the home environment should be a peaceful one, should be where children are valued, where children are told uh, they are loved, they are appreciated, every effort they make get appreciated, get celebrated, every successes, even every failure become opportunities to discuss how that thing could be done better for success next time. Not blame, not screaming, not comparing that child with other children who might be doing well, as it were, at the moment. Okay, without taking into consideration the efforts that child might have made, might have been making, to even now have the result that first, the child did not want to fail or did not want to come last in that 100-meter race. Has trained, you probably had taken him or her to the track to go to train before the event. He didn't win. But our children should know that winning and losing is part of life. Everybody cannot come first in a 100-meter race. It means that you didn't get it right this time. We're back to the track. Let's go again. Let's try. Let's train. Let's train harder. You'll be surprised what might happen the next time. But if all you do is deride the child, you can't do anything. Your friends are doing 5 seconds for the 100 meters, you finish one day behind them. Well, the child gives up, even if not physically, emotionally, psychologically, gives up. You batter the child up inside. So he doesn't see why he should try. He will show up at the tracks because you physically, they say you can take the horse to the riverbank, but you can't force the horse to drink. So you can take the child to that basketball court, the soccer pitch, to the racetrack. They say, okay, go and train. You need to motivate from the inside. It's what that person feels from the inside that pushes that child, the person, even adults. Okay, so it's important, very, very important that we make the home a safe zone, even when mistakes have been made. Correct your child. In place, in things like corrections, still in place to there's still a space for corrections to be made. There are instances where the Rubicon would have been crossed, points of no return. In some other instances, I'm not just talking drug issues now. There are things that you can't reverse. Okay? But you still let the child know you can't reverse it. Can you change this now? Is this what we dreamt about? Is this what we discussed? No. Okay? So that's another issue for another maybe episode of the program. Not but today, make the home a safe zone for that child, for your children to come back to, even when they make mistakes. They come on, I have to tell you something. I have to tell you something. It's terrible. What? Calm down. Calm down. How do I tell you this now, Mom? Some children will go ahead to tell you I've disappointed you. Okay, come here, baby. Come here. Talk to me. Don't worry. Tell me what happened. Your job as a parent at that point is to calm that child down, plan a new way forward, agree, and then support, help. What she's leaving the home or he's leaving home the following day and going and say, what did we agree? This is okay. High five. Come on, go get them. Yeah. The child goes, he knows to have his back. And that will be a reason for which you say, look, guys, this happened yesterday. Come, no, I'm not going to have that. Like, listen, this, I'm not going to go have that discussion with my mom again. Please say what you like. Because they know there's strength at home, there's support at home. And they're still there with you. I'm here to play. This game, don't worry, I'm up to my strength to operate. I mean, that's well, this is a young person talking about babies. What babies don't really offer babies those kind of things. It's still most times people who are older than them who, but then um, the scenarios we are describing here are usually things that are common, much more common amongst preteens, early teens, and young people, young adults. Okay? But for your children, it's still a case of eat what we package for you from home. Let that lesson start early. Start early and it grows. Remember what you say? Don't eat anything outside. Yes, mommy, I understand. Yes, it's a song. Sing it. After all, they play the same music how many times a day, year, and they still like it. So they have to like the music coming from your voice, music of instruction, music of encouragement, music of counsel. Don't stop singing. As far as drugs, substances of abuse are concerned, start early, listen, be loud. Because the consequences of you're not making, making your voice heard at home, not scream. When I say be loud, I don't say, oh, scream. No, no, be loud. Let them be able to identify your voice over and above the cacophony of voices outside when they go outside. This is not what my mom. Yeah, let them know they could call you mommy's child. Of course, whose child would I be? I had a young person around that was when she was growing up. It was very, well, slim. I don't want to use the other word. They say it was very tiny, it was very skinny. It was very slim. And you come back crying every time. They're laughing at me. They say I'm too tiny. They don't want me in their team. I say, look, listen. The people who say you're tiny, what's their, say they're fat, they're big. Okay, see, they can't be big at the same time and you fat. They can't be big and thin at the same time. Okay? So they can enjoy their own, enjoy your own. Yes, be good, feel good. Yes, you are scared. Yes, can't you see me? Can you walk the way I'm walking? Feel good about yourself. Feel good about you have a clear head. You don't need any assistance to perform in any area. I was involved in athletics, well, in sports, a number of sporting events. Yes, at those stages, people will offer you things. I said, no, I am, you know, I I'm here myself. I like to do things with my clear head. But I nothing. I usually nothing. No, thank you. And I'll still beat you on the tracks. How do you do it? Or how do I do it? I don't. You start using stuff. You rely on those things, and you think that there are things that would, stop training. You okay? I have some superpower that will help me to no train, prepare. Whether it's for your academics, whether it's for sporting events, whatever it is, skills, craft, prepare. Don't depend on any super substance that will make you feel good. If you take this now, wow, you write better. Those songs will come to you naturally. Yes, songs will come to you naturally as state of mind. Substances mess up your state of mind. Yeah. Have those discussions, okay? So we're going to play you our own video today for this episode that we produced on the issue of external pressures and substance use and abuse and your children and young people around you. Okay? Enjoy the video. Leave us your comments. When we come back, we'll discuss those comments. We already have some coming in from some community members. We'll discuss those comments, take the questions, and then we'll call it there on the program. But right now, please watch our video on why your children might use substances and what you could do, what you can do, not even could, what you can do about preventing use. Thank you. I see you on the other side of the video.
Dear parents, please watch till the end and learn one of the reasons children and young people may engage in substance use and maybe subsequent abuse. When we think and discuss why children and young people get to experiment with psychotropic substances, we often assume it begins with curiosity or personal weakness. In many cases, however, the trigger is not inside them. It is outside. The push often comes from classmates, friends, online trends, or social settings that make risky behaviors look normal. Children and young people do not usually wake up one day and decide to use psychotropic substances. More often, use begins with an invitation, a gift, or the desire to please friends. The pressure may look harmless at first, but when repeated often, it could gradually wear down the boundaries parents would have worked hard to set. Because children and young people are wired to seek connection and approval, external voices can carry more weight than parental advice if the home voice is not strong and steady. This makes peer pressure one of the most powerful entry points into substance use. As Dr. Richie Adewusi puts it clearly in his book The Sure Foundation, you probably know already that children and young people want others to like them. So how can parents reduce external influence? 1. Build confidence, not just awareness. Knowledge about substances gives children and young people facts, but confidence gives them the power to use those facts in real-life situations. By affirming their strengths, celebrating their achievements, and reminding them of their value, you build a steady voice inside them. Confident children and young people are less likely to feel they must compromise to be accepted. 2. Teach the difference between real and false friendships. Many children and young people confuse acceptance with belonging, and that is where pressure sneaks in. Teach them that real friends do not use guilt, shame, or dares to pull them into risky behavior. When they know how to tell the difference between genuine support and disguised pressure, they will be able to walk away without feeling like they have lost something important. 3. Give them practical refusal tools. It is not enough to say, just say no. Because in the moment, fear of embarrassment or rejection can make it difficult. Role-play different situations with them and practice short, firm answers, ways to change the subject, or quick exits. This rehearsal gives them confidence, so when the real test comes, they already know exactly how to respond. 4. Stay aware of their environment. Influence thrives where parents are absent or uninformed. Make the effort to know who their friends are, what kind of content they watch online, and where they spend most of their time. The goal is not to control everything, but to stay informed enough to step in early. Awareness equips you to guide before peer pressure gains too much ground. 5. Keep home as a safe landing place. No matter how strong they are, children and young people may still give in at times. If they believe that mistakes will only lead to harsh judgment, they will retreat further into secrecy. But when home is a safe space for honesty, they will come back sooner for guidance and support. This sense of security can make the difference between a temporary stumble and a lasting destructive habit. External pressure cannot be erased. It will always exist in classrooms, playgrounds, social circles, and media spaces. What truly matters is whether children and young people are equipped with the inner strength, tools, and safe connections to withstand it. As parents, your consistent presence, your steady guidance, and your willingness to listen can outweigh the loudest outside voices. Share this with parents who need to manage who or what exactly is influencing their children and other young people they care about. Comment, like, follow, and subscribe to the #SlowParenting podcast for more insightful parenting videos. Not just hacks, but heart.
YouTube to continue. Thank you for watching our video, in-house video on why your children might take uh, psychotropic substance. Your children and young people around you might take psychotropic substances, and what you could do about the use, or how you could prevent. And we're talking about external pressures today. So that video was specifically on external pressures. We have some contributions here from some community members here. The first one says, what are the warning signs that a child is already abusing substances because of external pressures, even before it, excuse me, before it becomes obvious? There's warning signs because of external pressures. You don't know it's external pressures. You don't know what reason. This is like, joining two issues together. If you say, what are the warning signs that the child is already using? Using is the first thing. Abuse, you can't hide, because abuse would be characterized by a whole lot of personality change profiles. A whole lot of things will change. The way the child behaves, the attention span, and all of that will change. Those will be signs that something is being used and an abuse that would have taken place. Somebody could use something once, and then all of those things could happen to that person, because of course it would necessarily change the way that person behaves. And if the parents are not observant enough, they might not notice that for the first time. They might not notice, and then be able to ask questions and be able to say, look, where did you get this? What happened? Who gave you what? And then you can follow from there. So the warning signs are behavioral patterns. You should know your children first. Okay, you know your children, you know how they behave normally. If they are behaving abnormally, you want to find out why. And then during the interrogation or the discussion that you have, then you'll be able to find out if anything had been used and where the use came from. Well, you might say external pressures. It's only when you ask questions that you find out whether it's because of pressures from friends or just a one-time offer, and then you clarify as the case may be. Even he said before it becomes obvious. It's obvious already. That's why you noticed. You are not a seer. You are not there to see. Now, if you're trying to say we should prepare our children to know, that's what we're discussing here. That's what we're saying. We prepare our children to be on the lookout for certain kinds of behavior with their friends. Like I said, as a general rule, let your children know, don't eat or drink anything you didn't take from home. Yeah. Regardless of where you're going. Okay? So there's nothing wrong with your children carrying their backpacks, even if they are going to visit wherever they're going. Put a drink there, put some candy or whatever is in the bag. Yeah, take that and eat. Okay? If you don't want to feel bad, collect what your friend put that. I want to know, I don't want to eat now. Put in your backpack. Then when you get home, if you like to discuss it, if you don't want, as a general rule, when you get to where your friends are not, you open your backpack, take the thing and throw it away. Yes. Let your children know that. Two ways, when their friends don't feel bad they didn't take. Well, when their friends see that they're not misbehaving, they're not beginning to crave whatever it is they would have thought they would have mixed with what they gave them, which would make them to want that thing again, they begin to wonder, did you eat what I gave you that? Yes, I do. Oh, really? Sooner than later, that friend would come out to say, but why haven't you asked if I have another one? Because I don't want it. Okay? The friend will know something should happen if I give you that. Didn't see the effects that he or she expected to have. Maybe, yeah, I ate it, I drank it, but well, I didn't like how I felt, so I don't want it. Yeah, have that discussion. Some other things might follow. But that's just because it's the first time. It's the first time of what? Yeah. Teach your children to be bold, okay? To be able to face such discussions and come out tops. Okay, if I discover that my child is in a friend group where drugs are common, should I separate them immediately or should I focus on building their resistance skill? No, the first resistance skill is to let the child know that that's not the group he should be with. Okay? Yes. You you don't wear boots and walk into a movie and say you will not be burnt because you're wearing boots. Your feet might not get burnt immediately, but the boot does not cover the other parts of your body. Okay? You already identified and know that the group is a drug or substance using or abusing group, however you found that out. The first thing is let your child know, and this is not the kind of persons you should be running around with. It shouldn't be there. There's no nice way to say that. Okay? And then it doesn't stop you from going heavier on the resistance skills, and okay, because even if he stops going to meet them, if they are bent on offering, because let's get this straight, why did they offer those things? A lot of the kids who offer their friends psychotropic substances are not doing it, just by chance. It's a plan. It's a strategy to get those children to become users and then begin to spend money buying. They will start giving them initially for free. And eventually, it's okay, you want it, I go and bring money. And then you begin to notice that things start missing at home. Their pocket monies are not, they begin to lose their appetite for food, for other things, for study, for being present even when their body is there, they are not, their mind is not there. Okay? You then begin to notice that some of your trinkets are missing, they begin to sell because they have to go buy. That's the reason they're offering them to become dependent on the substances, and then they become their suppliers. Okay? So even when you said that's not where you should go, the child might not go. They'll still meet in class. They'll still meet in the church. They still meet somewhere. Just let the child know that, well, you see, you're not going there. It doesn't mean that they won't stop maybe coming around you. You can't, this is not an island. We are not the only ones on it. Okay? So, no, just you don't want, you're not interested, no, you don't like, please. Okay? I'm your friend, but, and then if you also now, there's nothing wrong to say, I can't be friends with you if this is the route you are on. There's nothing wrong with that. Stay away. Yes. The important thing is put that gap, that distance, equip your children to be able to put the marker down. This is where this stops, this boundary. Okay? No, here we can greet, but please don't ever, I don't want you. No, don't do that. Just no, please. I said no, and I'm going away. Please don't offer me again. Okay? Some parents say it's better to let children experiment at home where you can control it instead of outside with friends. Experiment with what? Well, of course, if you're a user yourself, we talked on that last program, that episode. If you use substances yourself at home, of course, you have a bigger problem. Your children will definitely start experimenting with the leftovers you have, the cigarette butts you drop, the drops of alcohol in the cup you used to drink them, or even the bottle that you have in your fridge or in your wine shelf. Okay? Do we say you should not, if you like taking a sip of wine, a sip of cognac, that? No. It's still that issue of boundaries and discussions and being sincere with your children about, your own usage and your struggle with stopping. Yes, if you are indeed trying to try and stop. Well, we'll come to that, episode. Okay. So no, it's not. Don't to experiment with. Why are you experimenting? Please. Why do you have to take substances at all? Why do you have to take cigarettes or alcohol at all in the first place? It's not being judgmental. It's not about me. But then, What's the benefit to the child? What's the benefit to you that you are using it, that you now say, okay, try it and you see how it is? What's the benefit? Okay. If you know about the benefit of cigarette, please just list them. Go in the comment, list the benefit of cigarette. If you know the benefit of alcohol, please list them for us, and we can have that discussion. So why would you say let them experiment at home? Okay, when they pass the experimentation, then they go to what class? Okay, those are the things we should consider. How do I protect my children from external pressures in boarding school where I can't watch them every day? School authorities, schools, visits. You know your child. End of term homecoming. See your child. Go into your regular conversations, notice changes. If you are close enough to your children, you will notice those things, and some of them would actually open up to you and tell you what's going on in school. And with the information you get, then you go to meet the school authority. This is what my child had told me about last time in school. Please, you may want to watch this, watch that, what this child, watch this person in the school or in the dormitory or in the class. Okay? Go adult to adult, that's you, parents, school authorities, and then let the school authorities handle such. What if a child is in self-denial of his or her addiction? Self-denial is not about children. Self-denial is about anybody who get inside something that's not good for that person or that has happened, that is still thinking it's not real, it's not happening. Okay? Self-denial, you're using this, it's not helping you. Look at the school grade, discuss the school grade, look at the performance in other areas, look at other responsibilities that the child might have been falling back on, even if not falling back on those things at the moment. Discuss the consequences of continued use. Okay? And then, like I just said now, what benefits? Okay? What benefits? And we like said, children don't understand what's going to happen in the next 10 years. It doesn't make sense to them. Talk about right now. You won't be able to go to school. You wake up, you're messed up. You can't, your head is messed up, your mood is messed up, your energy is gone. You can't go to school. You miss school one day, miss school 2 days. There'll be a problem. You'll be at home. And do you want to sit at home and not, no, I want to go to school? Fine. So don't use. Okay? Link usage to goals or to aspirations that the children have. Okay, if you have brought your children up for them to aspire to something, then the fault is also two-pronged, you and them. So your children must be aspiring to do certain things, and you let them know that there are certain behaviors, certain activities they get engaged in that would stop them or make it difficult for them to attain those aspirations. Substance use and abuse is one of such. Okay, so if you've enjoyed our show for today, this is where we will call it a day. Where we will say bye bye. If you still have questions, if you still have other comments, because that's the last one. What if a child is in self-denial or denial of his or her addiction? That's the last comment or last question we have here. So please, like we keep saying, help us to grow on this channel. Kindly subscribe, please, to our YouTube channel, the Slow Parenting Podcast, Nostalgia Media, and then share the stream, share the video to your friends. I find it useful. The inserted video, both the Boston Legal, I don't have right, we don't have copyright, but it's in the public domain, so we don't need right to use it. But our own video, you don't need any right. You can share, anywhere. You can download, you can send to anyone. It's not copyrighted in that sense. You are not selling it. So please share widely, and please engage. Send us your comments even when we are off stream, and do share, do subscribe, support the Slow Parenting Podcast. and help us to grow. Would appreciate that. If you've done so already, thank you so very much. If you've not, please do so. And here's it for our show for today on the Slow Parenting Podcast. My name is still Richie Adewusi. We're here every Wednesday. Right now, it's still 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Soon it will become 1 p.m. when the time changes. But then in West Africa, in Nigeria, it's always the same time, 7 p.m. West African time, including Nigeria. Till we come your way again, the next episode of Slow Parenting Podcast on Nostalgia Media. Bye-bye. Thank you for being with us today.
Recording stopped.